So I was scrolling on Twitter a couple of days ago, and I came across this episode of Jubilee. It's this kind of crazy website where 20 people scream at one person. And there was a activist by the name of Amanda Seales, and she was debating 20 Black conservatives. Her position was what?
Her position essentially was that reparations were just and necessary. I mean, she's also now came out and said that Black on Black crime does not exist and it's not something of any relevancy whatsoever. And essentially that, Black people are being oppressed by white people. And this is why these sort of disparities exist.
What was your biggest opposition to what she said? Are you naturally very conservative?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am just naturally opposed to these handouts who really isn't going to fix any problem. Like I told her, if you hand every Black person a $50,000 check in America, it isn't really going to increase the median household income by any significant amount in the next decade or two. It's not really going to change anything significantly. What we need to do is bring back the Black nuclear family, stop the issues in reference to violence, in reference to gang crime, and then we can see some improvements. But this idea that handing people a check is going to change something radically, it's humorous. She just didn't want to debate me. Like there was a point where, like I said, redlining didn't exist to the extent that, they tried to act as if it existed, and she didn't want to debate me right there. She kept threatening to quit debating a lot of people, like multiple different times during the break. I mean, it was insane. But I just thought, like, what is going on with this woman? Like, is she okay in the head? Like, I don't know how that's a normal thing you can say to someone. Like, we're having a conversation, and someone makes an argument, and you are like, speak to me as if I was your mama. Like, well, who says things like that? Yeah, it's not a normal thing to say.
I think our resilience is happening now. I think growing, understanding the real problems, not going out and trying to protest against. You guys don't ever do this. KTS.
You guys don't ever do that.
KTS
Who is you guys?
Members of the Black community that want to hold people accountable, especially Black people. So KTS Dre was shot 60 times outside of Cook County, Chicago. How many BLM members came out? You earlier said BLM is about
referring
police.
To me as you guys.
Okay, that's fine. So, for example, we had a really good example of this where it's not a police, because I remember you
Where
said...
are you from?
Where am I from? What do you mean by that? Like, what state am I from? Where was I born?
Where do you live right now?
I live in Florida. I was born in Angola, though. I was born in sub-Saharan Africa, okay?
Where did you grow up for most of your time?
In Maine. I lived in North America.
In Maine?
Yes.
And what is the population of Black people in the town that you're from?
It's really extremely low, but I grew up around Black people, and there was a Black community where I lived.
And that Black community that you lived in, did they teach you about Black history in the United States?
Like,
are your parents Black American?
Yeah, my mom is Black. My father is Black.
No, I'm asking, were they born in the United States?
No, because I wasn't born there.
Oh, so you guys are all from Angola?
Yes.
I agree with this young man. If you give $50,000 to many people in our community, it would not help. Because the reality of the situation is you have Africans, you have Chinese people that come to America. They have nothing. They have no money. They have nothing but the clothes on their back. Yet they end up for Chinese people especially, or some of the most wealthy people in America, or some of the most successful businesses. They become business owners. Then you have people like the Nigerians and Africans that come over here and get PhDs and doctorate degrees, some of the most well-educated. What am I saying? The Black people can't do that? No, we can do that, but we have to let go of that victim mentality, this mentality of take and saying that, we need a handout and we just need a hand up. We're going to work. We're going to put in the effort that these other people do and no, we don't need reparations. Nothing about Black liberalism that Amanda Seales. I'm looking at the videos and I'm listening to so many people talking about how Amanda Seales ate on the Black side, on the liberal side. And I just wanted to say, what part of it did she cook? What part did she eat? Because if we go line for line, whether we're talking about reparations, the fact that there has never been any reparations given out shows that they're not going to happen and how idiotic they are. If it was such an important thing, they would have happened when Obama and Kamala was in office, who are Black, but they didn't give y'all your reparations. And when we go to police brutality, the facts are the facts. You just look at the prison system, full of Black men, full of Black people. Look at our neighborhoods, cities like Chicago, cities like Michigan. We can go on and on. Systematic racism, white supremacy, right? Black people are thriving more than they ever have been. Actually, they were doing better coming out of the civil rights movement. Black families were whole. Black families were more together. So this notion that Amanda Seales cooked, that she did such a good job, most of y'all would have said she did a good job no matter what she said, because y'all already have in y'all mind that conservatives don't know what they're talking about. It's just like Trump derangement. How you feel about Trump? Some of y'all, no matter what was said, you would have basically said she won, because liberals go off emotion and not off facts and logic. So my big interview with and debate with Jubilee and Amanda Seales, I was actually targeted by my job I was working at, which is a Christian school, right, in Florida, in Jacksonville. I was working there, and all black school, of course. And I was called in because they saw my video on the Shade Room and was basically told that I am not allowed to speak about anything relating to Republican values or basically lose my job. That's what I was told by the administration, and I have it recorded. And so I already have, I always have a side job with a contracted through teaching that I do, so I'm fine. But this is just a bigger thing of what black conservatives go through in this community. How you're targeted, how you are not allowed to speak your truth, speak truth to the black community. And so I basically told them I will not be returning because I will speak truth. I will not continue, I will not hide, I will not that, and I will continue to expose it. I'll continue to bring out more and more. But basically, I had to leave my job after the Jubilee because I was fired, I quit because I was given an ultimatum, in so many words, after the Jubilee interview. They believe in white supremacy. They believe in systematic racism. And I told them I'm not going to stop speaking out about it.
So again, this is why I've stated before, it is imperative for people to stop being stupid and wanting to, quote unquote, we just need to ignore, we just need to block out, we need to do this and we need to do that. Do we not just listen to this Angolan immigrant sit up there and say that there's nothing wrong with America, that he, as a quote unquote black person, has never suffered systemic racism or any type of racism or any type of form? So for him, as he is stating, black Americans are liars and there is nothing wrong with America because he lives in Maine, he's black, and he's never faced any type of problems with white people at all. They're very nice, they treat him very well, they're not racist at all, and everything is perfect and peachy keen. Now on the other side, he's like, well, I have more of a chance of having my life taken by a black man than I do of a white police officer. This is why it is very imperative that y'all stop doing all of this other type of, let me rephrase it, because I can't control people, right? I'm not going to sit up and say this, that, and the third. This is why it is imperative that people should listen, should take in information. Because a lot of y'all that want to block, a lot of y'all that just don't want to pay attention, what you're doing is automatically making yourself ignorant of the people that are around you every single day. And you don't specifically know who it is that you're walking by, right? You don't know up until, like they said before, a lot of people don't know or understand who it is that they are up until they open their mouth, up until a specific conversation comes up. Other than that, you just pretty much assume that those people are black American, right? Even right now, some of y'all might have coworkers, some of y'all might have friends and whatnot that y'all know them for years, right? But you don't really know them up until you have a specific conversation. Then it's like, oops, you wasn't a part of us the whole time, but yet I was hanging out and we was doing this, we was doing that, and all this. Like I said before, people need to pay attention. And another reason why people need to pay attention is because he went from now Jubilee to now going to these other platforms. You heard him first on the very first video where he was with somebody else on a podcast or whatnot or whatever, and he was rehashing, going over the exact same point. I want y'all to understand that somebody Caucasian gave him a platform of which to speak on, and now another Caucasian is giving him a platform of which to speak on. And I also learned, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I could swear that Jubilee was founded by somebody who was Asian, right? But anyways, because nobody wants to pay attention. Anyways, now he's going directly on to Charlie Kirk. And I'm pretty sure if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, you will soon enough know who Charlie Kirk is. Because, again, he has millions of followers. He has a very large platform. He does debates and this, that, and the third and whatnot. Or whatever. Been doing this for over 10 plus years, if I can remember correctly. And now he's going to give this highly conservative Angolan immigrant who grew up in Maine, whose parents aren't even from the United States, a platform of which to speak directly on Black Americans and things surrounding with and having to do with Black Americans. And I promise you, everything is going to be straight negative. Nothing's going to get directly down to the point. Nothing's going to be shown to specifically be like, okay, well, yes, we have these things that do happen in the Black community, but why? Right? What led to these things? What enabled these things, right? What are persistent to keep these things still present and here that are outside of the Black community, right? Because if people want to be real about anything, there are a lot of things outside of certain control, right? People can vote all they want to when it deals with the school system, but the schools can still do what it is that they want to sit up there and do at the end of the day, correct? They can still decide that, okay, we don't want you as a parent, you're coming to pick up your kid, but we're going to hold your child for a little bit longer, so you have to sit up there and wait. We're not going to allow you to directly come within the school and all these other types of things. Your job can sit up there and tell you, well, we're not making direct deposits no more like we were. We're doing paper checks, and we understand that you need your check now, but you have to wait on us and what it is that we say, so that you're going to decide to sit up there and get your check and all these other types of things. We can vote directly on things that have to deal with the city, but the city at the end of the day is like, well, we have your tax dollars, and we are the ones that are going to specify when and where and how these things are going to get accomplished in the city, and you just have to sit up there and wait on us. It's great that you voted, thank you. It's great that you pay your taxes, thank you, but again, you have to wait. We have to say so when it deals with that, right? So again, I just wanted to put that within parameters to show that there are things that we are a part of, things that we in a sense contribute to, but at the end of the day, we don't have full, total, 100% control of those situations to, in a sense, make those situations the way that we want them to sit up there and be. Because again, look at a lot of the instances dealing with the violence that goes on in these mass incidences when it deals with schools. How many parents had to wait outside for whatever reason in order to get their kids? Right? The kids, it's a full lockdown, but yet something is going on. People are losing their lives and different things of that nature. And the police were like, oh no, you got to sit up here and stay here because we say so, whatnot, or whatever, all this other type of stuff. My kid is in there. I'm a parent. I need to get my kid. Again, just trying to put parameters down to fully try to make a clear point, if you can say that, to how it is that there are things that we are part of, but yet at the same time, we don't have full control directly over those things, right? Nor do we have control over the contributing factors and different things of that sort. But anyways, like I said before, this is why we need to have a type of conversation. This is why people need to get online and start making rebuttals to these types of things. I get it. People are like, oh no, you're making money directly off of Black Americans, yada, yada, yada. The best way for us to stop this from happening is to sit up there and not even look at your content. It don't matter if Black people look at the content or not. Guess what? You got other people directly out there. You got other people directly out there. His own people from Angola can sit up here and watch his content. Now what did that accomplish? Not really nothing, because he's still making money. White people are going to sit up there and watch his content like they've been doing. What has us not paying attention and being ignorant of things that he's speaking of? What is that specifically doing? Nothing, but allowing him to further push his point directly out there without any type of pushback. And like I said, that's a very dangerous thing, because it's going to escalate to a point where you're going to have all of these Black American looking individuals out here again showing up on social media, starting to make all of these I kid you not, all of these conservatives make the exact same points. They say the exact same things. They don't say anything different at all. I've yet to sit up there and see somebody say something different. Because it just doesn't happen. Right? Because everybody has the exact same playbook. Oh, black people, crime, violence, gang culture, rap music, black fathers. It's the exact same thing. Nobody is actually getting to a actual solution, because that's going to dismantle and take away from the whole argument that they've been using since forever. You know, the crazy part is, I would have respected this dude a little bit more if he would have just took this on the chin instead of going directly to social media to let everybody know that, yo, the school sat up there and fired me, they did this. I'm like, now you're trying to put yourself in a place of like a victim. Because that's what all the Black conservatives normally try to say about quote unquote Black liberals, Democrats, and all the other type of stuff, right? It was like, oh, you guys always portray yourself as victims and this, that, and the third, and what? Like, dog, what? You already knew what it was. You knew that if potentially you decided to speak or show up anywhere, any one of these engagements, and you wanted to say this, that, and the third, you know that you were going to ruffle some feathers. You know that it was going to be problematic. You already knew the space that you were working in. And then it's crazy to me that this dude wanted to say like, oh yeah, I'm working at an all black school and this, that, and the third, to try to basically state that, oh, it's black people that sat up there. They're the ones that sat up there and got me fired. It wasn't nobody else. It was black. No, what inevitably costed you your job was your mouth. You decided that you wanted to stand 10 toes down. You decided that this is what you wanted to do. This is how you wanted to speak. Nobody told you to go directly on Jubilee to state your point. You could have kept your mouth closed. You could have just shut up. But that's not what you wanted to do. You wanted to be just like so many others out here in this day and age. Y'all like, man, I'm not really even trying to do this, that, and the third. Let me just go out here and be a part of the conservative, Republicans out here. And let me speak. How I want to sit up and speak, because for whatever reason, every single Republican says that they are a critical thinker, this is that and the third, but have the exact same talking points. I'm a little bit confused. You're individuals, you're critical thinkers, but all of you guys pretty much have the exact same talking points when it deals with Black Americans. Make it make sense. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, because again, I've been listening to conservative Republicans on these platforms just bash any and every single time that they happen to show up. Every single time. That's the only main individuals that they happen to speak on is Black Americans. That's the only time that they happen to have anything negative to state. Black Americans. They don't really have anything positive to say. If they want to say something positive, they'll be like, yo, when Black Americans were, back, in the 1900s, back during slavery, they were great. They were positive, even out of slavery. They were great. They were good. Nuclear family, this, that, and the third. Great money, land everywhere, this, that. But after all of that, horrendous stuff took place, they got lazy and, they started depending on the government. And this is when you started having the influx of crime and crack cocaine, and this is when all blacks wanted to start doing weed and ripping and running through the streets, and they don't want to raise their kids. And, this is when, black fathers are just 100% not even, there, and the community 100% doesn't care about the, the black kids and this. It's always something. It's always something negative. It's always something negative every single time. And I'm like, man, y'all can list. Y'all don't even have to go that far or even try to list something positive about another group. But then when it deals with Black Americans, you guys want to go so deep far into the past, but yet that's the same past of which y'all tell a lot of people to stop taking reference from. Focus on the here and now. It's like, it's crazy. Like the mental gymnastics, the hula hoops, the loop-de-loops that people decide to do, and how it is that they want to talk and frame certain arguments. Like, it's crazy. It doesn't make any type of sense, but it is what it is. Just like him having an issue with his job, it is what it is. And I also want to showcase the fact that he was like, yo, because he knew in his mind what was going to already happen, Because like I said, the people who are conservative, a lot of people may feel that they have the utmost dumb takes and da-da-da and all, or they might have mass agreements directly with them, but they're very smart. They're very smart. They plan ahead of time. That's why he recorded that conversation. He specifically told you that he had a conversation with the school and he had that directly on tape. He had the whole thing directly on tape because, again, he already knew. He knew specifically what it was and what was going to happen during that conversation. The chances are going to be very great that he was going to lose his job or be let go or however it is that was going to sit up there and go. He already knew this. So he put 2 to 3 things directly within that last conversation, that last video, to let people know, like, yo, I'm an upstanding black conservative. And, you know, I have these certain types of values. And obviously these black liberals, I worked at an all black school because obviously if I didn't like black people, I wouldn't be working at an all black school trying to help out young black men, young black boys to better them and this, that, and the third, right? And these are the same people that wanted to fire me because of my, you know, ideals or my point of view and this, that, and the, like, he's painting his whole portrait to really try to lay it thick that he is different from a lot of other black people, that he cares more than a lot of other black people out there, that he is more opinionated, that he's much more of a critical thinker, that he can sit up there and see above everything. And again, white folks are going to eat all of that up. They're going to be the main ones. Give him enough time. Let him go directly through his rounds on social media. Let him go in between some podcasts and different things of that nature. Watch, you're going to sit up there and see a lot of these faces start being present faces. And they're going to be in abundance. And that is solely due to the fact of that a lot of black Americans, as they have appeared directly on my platform, instead of them trying to combat with information and knowledge and putting education directly out there, trying to, you know, logically push back, people want to be ignorant and be like, we're just going to sit up there and ignore them. That's the best way to sit up there and get rid of them. And as I stated before, ignoring racism, how far did that get black people? When black people tried to ignore racism, right, when we had our own towns and our own cities, how far did that sit up there and get us? That's right. A lot of our history, a lot of our buildings, a lot of our towns, a lot of our cities were erased because we thought if we ignored the problem, if we just did our own thing over here and not worry about nothing else, then we're going to be safe and sound. And the inevitable happened. We were crushed. Things were disintegrated. Things were burned to ash, never to be seen or heard from ever again. And then where did that leave us? Trying to find some type of form of reparations to fix the harm that was specifically done to our community by way of the United States government. And still, where did that leave us? Nothing. We didn't get nothing from it. Nothing but heartache and pain and lost history. That's it. So the same thing that happened then, because we wanted to ignore a situation instead of prepare and instead of educating ourselves and protecting and defending ourselves, the same thing that happened there in the past is going to be the same thing that's going to happen now. But it's going to get to an even worse point, because now we're not just dealing with people having, you know, tin cans and with strings and carrier pigeons. We're dealing with the internet, where this can go all over the world. This is going to have a way worse contribution to how it is that misinformation about black Americans will be spread, and is going to do far more harm. But like I said before, it is what it is. People want to ignore, so people are going to choose to ignore. People are too hard-headed, and people only realize what's going on up until everything hits their front door. And at that moment, that's when people want to start preparing and want to start fixing up plans. But by that time, it's too late. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.